The Evolution of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Part 8. In 1571, Spanish conquistadors reached the Yucatan Peninsula, bringing weapons, greed, and disease. They brought smallpox to the indigenous Finn tribe, a sickness for which the natives had no immunity. The tribe faced total extinction. In desperation, their shaman prepared a remedy using a local plant affected by trace amounts of vibranium in the region. The remedy worked. They survived, but there was a terrible price. The Vibranium-infused plant altered their biology forever. They could no longer breathe air. Their bodies needed constant moisture, and their skin turned blue on the surface. They had survived, but the land was lost to them forever. They adapted, building a new civilization underwater. These were the first Talokanil, founders of Talokan, a hidden kingdom beneath the waves. Among them was a woman named Finn, who was pregnant when she took the remedy. She survived the transformation, but her unborn child was affected differently. She gave birth to a hybrid, an extraordinary mutant who combined the best of both worlds. He could live on the surface and in the depths. He had enhanced strength and speed. Most remarkably, he had wings at his ankles that let him swim at incredible speeds and fly through the air. When the Talokanil saw these winged feet on the newborn, they believed he was a sign from the gods, like the feathered serpent deity of their ancestors. They called him Ch'ah. As he grew, aging far slower than any other Talokanil, his people's reverence for him deepened. They began to worship him as their god-king, the living embodiment of Ch'ah, the feathered serpent. Years passed, and though the Talokanil thrived in their underwater kingdom, Finn mourned the loss of her surface life and homeland every day. Unable to ever return to the land she loved, she lived with a grief that never healed. Eventually, she died of old age, her heart broken by the sadness of never seeing her home again. With her final breath, she made one last request: to be buried in the homeland she had been driven from. Ch'ah, still appearing as a young man while his mother had aged naturally, led his people to the surface to honor her wish. But when they arrived at the land where their village once stood, they found it had become a plantation. Spanish colonizers had enslaved the remaining Mayan people, forcing them to work the land that had once been theirs. Enraged by the cruelty and oppression, Ch'ah and the Talokanil attacked. They burned the plantation and ended every colonizer there. As the chaos unfolded, a dying Spanish priest cursed Ch'ah, calling him El Niño sin Amor, the child without love. Ch'ah took that curse as his name. He became Namor, because from that day forward, he had no love for the surface world.